Want to keep up with the latest Camodo gaming videos? Be sure to subscribe and click that bell.
Hello YouTube, Camodo Gaming here, bringing you guys another episode of Tiny Town VR, and yes folks, we are back once again, and today we are going to be building an epic creation. So, I was looking at the comment section from the last episode, and I decided that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do my idea for one episode, and then I'm going to go to the comment section for the next idea, and I'm going to kind of alternate. Now, there were some really good comments on the last episode. One was like having a portal with the old town kind of pouring through it, and yeah, that sounds cool. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but maybe we'll do that next episode, but I had an idea for this episode. So, it's been a while here in Tiny Town since I've created some sort of monster. We've had a lot of, like, pre-done monsters, like the SCP, which, by the way, we did an SCP episode last time. I'll flash it in the top right corner. I know I always say I'm going to do that, and I never do it, but there it is right there. So, we've got that. We have, like, the big robot here, and then we have, like, a bunch of just, like, pre-made, pre-done stuff. I guess you could say we kind of created this monster over here, but I want to do one from scratch. Now, the monster that I choose is something that I want to say kind of become obsessed with, and it's made by Trevor Henderson, and it is Siren Head. So, I'm going to be building a giant Siren Head. I think it's going to be about right here, and it's going to be coming into the city to eat people, and it's going to be awesome. So, anyways, I'm doing that here today. Comment below with what you want to see next here in Tiny Town, what builds, and we're still looking for a name for the city, so the highest upvoted name from this episode will be the city name. And also, I'm going to look at that portal idea from the last episode, so maybe we'll try to do that next episode, but yeah, like I said, comment below. If you guys are also enjoying this series, maybe hit that thumbs up button, it helps out my channel, and let's get to building. Alright, so Siren Head. I know I'm going to need brown pieces for the body. Ooh, these rings might come in handy. I'm trying to picture all of this in my head and what I need. Let's go ahead and grab that. So, the reason I chose Siren Head, and I don't know, out of all of the creations from that creator, that one stands out the most to me because I used to, when I was a kid, I had kind of a, I guess you could say, irrational fear of sirens for some reason. I live in Tornado Alley, so of course we get that a lot of times with tornadoes. They'll do tests and all that. It always used to creep me out. And I'm thinking to myself, when that creature first came out, I was like, man, this is nightmare fuel for like younger me. So that's kind of the reason I chose to do Siren Head here today. So I'm going to flash a picture of it on the screen, and that's kind of the reference photo that I'm going to use to create this creature. Now, this creature is going to be fully made from parts. It's not going to be like one of the pre-mades that we've been using. So, most of this episode is going to be just solely about the creature itself. And then maybe I'll do a little bit of a scene around it. Maybe it's going to be eating a couple people. But I think it's going to be coming through right here. Actually, I think I'm going to aim it a little bit more towards the sun here. So, let me get started here. I'll give you guys some progress updates, and I'll show you guys kind of how I'm going to put this thing together. Alright, so what I'm doing now, I'm actually doing Siren Head's backbone. So we've got this, I know it kind of looks like a turd right now, but you've got his pelvis down here, which is going to lead to his long legs, and then he's got kind of a skinny body through here, and then his rib cage is kind of exposed, and it goes up to where his head's going to be. So I'm trying to figure out how to do his rib cage. I kind of like using these rings, because it will give it some sort of like 3D effect here. So say if I were to stack more ribs up like that, I think that's actually going to look pretty cool. I'm just worried that the ribs might be a little big right now, but Siren Head's torso and all that's actually fairly decent sized. So I'm thinking this is going to probably work. So we'll do that, and then I'm probably going to add like a bone in the middle for kind of the sternum. So we've got that. I might move down with the ribs here. So let's go ahead and grab another set here, and let's make it go a little closer to the body. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do the best I can with the pieces that I have, so it might not look perfect, but that's starting to form up pretty nice. And then let's see, okay, this piece here, this is probably going to be the sternum, so I'm going to connect the ribs this way. Which, by the way, I really wish Tiny Town would stack these pieces like up and down, yet it goes out to the side. It's always been kind of a little bit of an annoyance to me. Let's go and get those. Okay, and then we're going to go up like this. So, and then we'll connect the sternum probably where like the collarbone and like all the neck and all that's gonna be. All right, so we got something. Now looking at this, I can already tell the pelvis is gonna need to be a little bit bigger. So a couple things we're gonna do. We're gonna move it up because its legs are gonna need to be long. So here's the base that I'm using. So let's move it here. And then let's get rid of all these rings except for one. And then we're gonna kind of poke this out. So this will be like your pelvis bone. So we've got that, okay? And we'll add a couple more to this to kind of cover up that odd looking square. The square is just there for like a, almost like a base. Now another really key piece to Siren Head is going to be the head itself with the two sirens and the mouth. And I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. Alright, so progress update. So as you can see, Siren Head's legs are somewhat complete. I just wanted to put him down. I still need to do the feet. I still need to do a little bit more structure on him. But I just wanted to make sure he was going to be standing tall enough. So, say if you're a citizen down here, which let's go ahead and get to scale, because at first when I was looking at it, I was like, this is not very big. But, say if we were standing street level, that's how tall he's going to be. Plus, you got to think the head's going to go up and you got the two sirens on the top, which is going to make him even more tall. So yeah, this is going to be definitely a pretty big creation. Alright, so I still have to work a little bit more with the pelvis, which sounds really wrong. I'm pretty happy with how the ribs have turned out. And then I'm starting to work on his shoulder and where his arm's going to come out. So that's a bit tricky, but we're getting there. It's starting to kind of take form. It's going to take a little bit more finessing though. But I think it's going to be cool. Now the only thing I'm afraid of is the sirens. I've got a couple ideas. We do have kind of like a triangle piece, or I should say, I guess you can call it, what, a cone? So, I really do think we can use those. Now, his sirens, I don't think are quite as sharp, so we might have to add some effect to it, and then I can add the mouth here on this piece, so it's set up here. So, I think we're going to be able to get that done. But yeah, let me continue to work on the arms. Now, I've also got to think that he does have fingers and toes. He's essentially a mummified body. So, it's going to have a lot of the features that a human has, except for, of course, the head. Alright, so, preview time once again. I'm still working on the arms. Basically, they're connected up, I was showing it earlier, above the rib cage. And they come down and they actually get a little smaller, like your arm normally would, towards the hands. So, you've got that. And then we've got, basically, I guess you can call it the neck. This is where the sirens are mounted. Now, there's two. There's normally one really high on one side, but I think it kind of turns them sometimes. I want to kind of make the mouth visible to this angle over here. So maybe we'll have one up here, and then I don't know if that's the right size. No, I actually think it's a little bit bigger. Oh, let's go up here. Let's make it bigger. I have to connect. I can see a little bit of a gap here, so let's go down with that. So we got one there. This is just going to be a rough draft of what the head's going to be. And then we have one down like here. So it's something like that. That is actually looking pretty decent. I mean, I'm not the best when it comes to doing stuff like this, but it's not looking bad. Alright, let's continue to work. I think that's the right size neck. There is a little bit of the... Actually, this one probably moves down a little bit. If you look at the drawings, the neck... I guess bone comes up a little higher than the sirens, so I think that's pretty good. Now, one thing I am going to do, this area was kind of a placeholder as far as the buildings. You can see there's not really a lot of detail down there, so I'm going to start to move stuff down because Siren Head is such a huge creature. I imagine it's probably just tipping buildings over, so I want to create that effect that it's going to be walking through. It's going to look amazing on the thumbnail. So this building's going to be crashing down. We'll kind of stick his hand into it. Probably have his hand kind of, I guess, at this angle that my hand's at. So it'll be kind of pushing it over, wrapping his hand around that. So I want to create a little bit of destruction. Now, I kind of feel like this building here is just in the way. So we're probably going to make this like a park area. That way you have a really clear view of Siren Head and there's no really large buildings obstructing him. Alright, so I've got an idea here. I'm going to see if I can create an illusion here. So obviously, Siren Head, this is going to be an opening. Actually, let's make it a little smaller than the other cone. An opening like that. So if I stick that in there, that creates an opening in the creature. And then all we've got to do is actually make the teeth. So that would be kind of cool. Let's go like this. There we go. So it's got the openings now. Now, as far as the teeth, I'm thinking maybe these we can use. Its teeth are really creepy looking. Like, they're really huge. They're not quite spaced together. They got like little gaps. I'm not going to do like the correct amount of teeth. I'm just going to try to make a little rough thing here. And we'll kind of see what it looks like. Actually, right now, his teeth look like marshmallows. Marshmallows. Toasted marshmallows are good, by the way. Alright. That's a start there, but I feel like I'm going to need to fill the mouth up a little bit more. That's cool, though. I like that a lot. Oh, yeah, buddy. Okay, I'm getting more excited for this build. If you guys have any other creatures, like, it doesn't have to be, like, scary creatures. Like, whatever creatures you think that I might be able to make, comment below. Alright, so we are starting to work on hands here. Now, one thing I do want to point out, if you look at the reference photo and you look at some of the photos of Siren Head, you're going to notice that the sirens in some photos appear to be like they're black, like they're actual objects, and the skin's kind of grown into them. And then some, they're more brown. Now, I could do the black sirens, but the problem is the mouth opening. I don't have two different shades of that dark of a color to be able to make it look like a mouth opening. So say if I were to switch this cone to black, you couldn't tell where the actual mouth is on Siren Head, which would be a little awkward. So I think I'm going to leave it brown for the time being. But yeah, I'm working on hands here. His hands are actually, I guess you can say, semi-normal looking. They are a little bit longer finger-wise. So yeah, definitely that's going to be a thing. But from the pictures I've seen, about where his hands and his fingers end up, they're probably on the lower part of his leg somewheres. So we'll need to put like a knee here and a knee there. So I'll probably just add like a little ball or something there to kind of represent a knee joint. And then I'll have to start working on those feet. Alright, we got to make these fingers longer here just to make it a little bit more creepy. So let's go ahead and add an extension to each of these here. And then of course the thumb, I don't think I'm going to do much to. Now, another feature that Siren Head has, if you look at some of the photos, some don't have this, but it's got like these, I don't know if they're veins or it looks almost like hoses that are kind of curling down a little bit, down the neck and into the body. That's another thing. I might be able to replicate it. It's probably going to be brown. I'll probably do a couple of these small pieces here and maybe do a couple dangling off just to give it a little bit more effect, opposed to just like a pole with two cones out of it. So, yeah, I'll work on that too here in a minute. You know what? This is probably my favorite custom build we've done so far. Alright, so I just noticed something. One of his feet is actually going to be inside of a building, because he's pushing it over and he's stepping into it, so I created like a little destruction effect there. I started to add debris to the ground here, and I'm actually going to try to complete his foot. Now, that is one thing when you're using these really, I guess you call it primitive shapes. It is really tedious to do stuff like hands and feet. So I promise you it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to work with what I have here to try to get his feet done. Or its feet done, I should say. There we go. So something like that. I'm actually kind of happy with this. There's probably a couple things I could have switched up. I'm not done with them 100% yet. But there's a couple things I do want to add. So this might make it a little bit on the morbid side, but Siren Head, at least according to... Actually, does it really say what he does to his victims? I'm assuming he eats them. In Gmod, the character eats them, but... I don't know, maybe he does something else. I'm assuming that's what he's here for. So, you know, we gotta add some people to Siren Head's teeth. I'm not adding a grandma, because that's just wrong. But we can add a grandpa. So we'll get that. We'll get a couple more people. So yeah, he's been munching on people, so... We can kind of put them, they're probably already gone. We'll kind of like stick them, almost like he's got some stuff stuck in his teeth. So we'll have something like that. Oh man, this doesn't look right at all. There we go. So it looks like he's been eating some of the citizens of Tiny Town here. He's pushing that over. We got to have some people reacting to him down here. You know, we have the firefighters and the police arriving to the SCP outbreak over here. So yeah, we could definitely add some down here, and they're looking up like, oh, are you serious? Is this really going to be a thing today? You know, now I have a serious question. How much do people like police and fire responders in Tiny Town, how much do they get paid? Like, you got to get paid a lot to accept that job. Well, that and the whole fact that there's a lot of availability on the job market because there's always a need for employees because, I mean, look what's going on. It's kind of crazy when you get down to this level and you really start to look around. Also, by the way, people have complained about the Death Star, the whole fact that it's the size of a moon. It is in a very temporary spot. We're not through with the Star Wars stuff. We'll probably have one more episode of it. But yeah, the Death Star is just a placeholder. It's not in its actual position. Alright, starting to add some people running, some people reacting to what's happening. This poor cop over here, you know, the Tiny Town PD are so stressed. He just wanted a donut break. And yeah, he's looking up just going, are you kidding me? You know, I should probably start adding the speech bubbles. I don't even know how those things work. Where are those? You know, for a speech bubble, it should probably just be him cussing. So I found it. So here we go. So we make him go, oh, and let's just, where's the character things at? There we go. Yep, that's about what I would be saying too. Alright, let's go ahead and extend some of the destruction out this way, because all the debris that's fallen down. Put this one a little further into the ground. Alright, so we got that. We got the people running. You got some of the people reacting. I'm pretty happy with this, actually. I think that's gonna be good for this build. I'm looking around. We got his feet done. 1 foot's inside of the building there. The sirens are pretty good. The teeth, I'm still not 100% digging, but I'm thinking this is pretty good. I mean, I think this is about how they need to be. Because if you look at a lot of the pictures, like when you see inside the mouth, you don't really see too much in there. It's just kind of dark. So no telling what's actually inside, like past the teeth. Of course, most people don't make it past the teeth. And you know what? To top this all off with, we gotta bring her back. She's gonna be on here, on this roof, and she's gonna be completely oblivious to what is happening. So let me do a little scene set up with her. Maybe she's gonna be catching some sun or something. Yeah, this is probably something you don't want to screw with. Oblivious grandma, she's just catching some sun. Let's make her in like a laying pose right here. So yeah, she's just kicking back on the roof, you know, just kind of trying to enjoy stuff, you know. She doesn't get to enjoy many things. She's got herself a piece of spy cake here. What else? You know what? She's got binoculars too, because maybe she was people watching at one point, because that seems to be a thing that old people do. Have you ever noticed when you go to like a mall or something and people are just staring at you? And most times the people that are staring are kind of older. I feel like they're just looking at us going, what's wrong with these people? So yeah, oblivious grandma there, everybody. But anyways, I think it's going to wrap it up for this episode of Tiny Towns. Give you guys a look at this from afar. That looks cool. Like, that looks really cool. You know, maybe I could have done a couple things different, but I think for the most part, pretty satisfied. Thank you guys for all the love and support on the series. You guys are awesome. Do remember to comment below with new suggestions, and we'll see you guys next time.